Well, today on Nation, the greatest podcast for window cleaners, pressure wash, any service company, I'm partial. But we're talking about the facts and the myths of window cleaning. So this will be a fun one. I know some of you are new to the show and maybe haven't seen these ones before. We got some new ideas and we're just kind of fun today. So stay tuned to WCR Nation. What's up, everybody? Jersey here from windowcleaner.com, and you are here. What is up? Hey, hope your spring is springing, or whatever season you're watching this in. Hopefully it's nice, and it's not winter, because winter, we're just getting out of winter when I'm recording this, and I don't want to think anymore about winter. Anyway, if it's your first time here, have a look around. We got 7, going on 8 years next month of content every single week. 8 years of content every single week. Haven't missed a week yet, knock on wood. Anyway, go back, check it out. Today, we are talking about the facts versus the myth, and I think this is always a fun one because daily, if you guys don't know, everybody always goes, oh, you work at WCR, but you have a window cleaning company. No, I work for WCR like 50 plus hours a week. Like, it is insane, which I love doing, but I talk to a lot of window cleaners. So every time I talk about things that people say, everybody assumes there's like 2 customers. There's not. There's a lot more than that. And I talk to hundreds of window cleaners a week. And I have to say, a lot of these are like the biggest things that people still stick by. And I have no idea why. I don't know why they still believe it. It's like a Bigfoot, right? Or aliens or something where you're like, you believe in that? And they go, well, yeah, my so-and-so said, or I read about, or I said. So you get to form your own opinion. But just like anything, there's fact versus myth, right? Now, certain things like cryptozoology, like Bigfoot, aliens, all that stuff, like it's getting more and more, right? It's hidden for certain things maybe, or harder to find, but then there's facts of what is scientifically happening. And it's very hard to have an opinion versus just seeing the fact. Anyway, so let's jump into the first one. This is the number one. I would say the first 2 that we're talking about are number 1, number 2. They bounce back and forth, but it's scratched glass. Now, just saying that makes you ball up and get some kind of feels about, right? Scratched glass does happen. Can you scratch glass? Yes. But you, unless you do it wrong, are probably not the one scratching the glass. Now, I'll start by saying this. You have to understand how you see scratches in glass. Glass is clear. So as long as you can see through it, it's glass. But when something is dirty, it dulls the surface, right? You know, when you clean windows, they're shiny. Oh, they're great. When windows are dirty, that's obstructing the view of clean glass. And the way you see a scratch in glass is like this. If you're not watching the video and you're on Spotify, maybe you're watching the video on Spotify, by the way. Go to Spotify. Follow me on Spotify. Anyway, it creates like a V, right? Like a groove or a canal or like a canyon in the glass, right? That's a scratch. Now, some of them are bigger than others, I know, and not exaggerating for this example. But what happens is that the flat plane of glass, the whole sheet of glass, is the same. It's all in the same direction, right? So nothing is showing you anything. You can see through it. But as soon as you get the V of a scratch, you have now walls that are shining light in different directions. This is how a diamond sparkles. Like if you've ever just seen a diamond, like if you just made a round diamond, it would just look like a clear ball. But the way that it sparkles is because of what's called facets. Facets are like the angles on a diamond. You know what I'm talking about. The angles of the diamond are what show the sparkle of the light. Now, it's the same thing on a scratch. So a lot of times people are like, oh yeah, I scratched these windows. It wasn't there before. The homeowner said, well, you didn't see it before because there was dust and dirt and your windows just weren't perfectly clean. So that sparkle wasn't there. You didn't get that facet, that wall, that angle change of the light in order to change or sparkle. I cleaned the windows and now you can see it. Scratches come from a lot of things, but they don't come from squeegee rubber. They don't come from razors. They don't come from anything that you're doing. In fact, I just had a guy last week talking about how the company before him used a water-fed brush, and the water-fed brush scratched the glass. And instead of the customer understanding why you can see scratches, thought this brush was scratching. They wouldn't hire the other window cleaner back because this brush scratched it. How in the heck is a nylon brush scratching glass? And I'll tell you, in everything with scratches, which cutting, any of that stuff, scientifically, you have to have two things. You have to have the subject being cut and the thing cutting it. And both of those have hardnesses. Now, as you know, a banana cannot scratch a piece of steel, right? That's fair. You'd be like, well, yeah, that's dumb. Yes. Now, the reason is because the banana is softer than the steel, so it can't actually do anything. Now, if you know that, then you have to understand glass. Glass is, if you take a ball and throw it through, you could break the glass. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about strength of glass, like the actual glass. Like, could you go up with your fingernail and just make scratches on there? No, you can't, because your fingernail is softer than the glass. But anything harder wins. So like a diamond cuts a diamond, I could take that same diamond and also cut a piece of steel. It'd be the slowest process ever, but I sure could, right? When you look at scratches on glass and you go, well, razors scratch glass. No, they do not. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's metal. Yes, it is. But you have to understand the thickness of the edge or the contact part of the blade. Now, if that same blade was 1/4-inch steel, that's going to be harder than the glass. But the thinness of a blade would bend a microscopic. If you really look at it, it would bend. It's very soft at the very tip. The idea of a razor is that it's so thin, it gets between the glass and the thing on the glass, right? Like bird poop or tape or whatever. It's so thin, it gets between that, and that's how you take it off. So how does that scratch glass? It doesn't. But you think, maybe not you, a lot of people think it does. Or the absolute awfulest, most I don't understand science thing ever. By the way, if you have angry emails, please send them over. I'd love to see those. Not really, but you can use a razor on glass, just can't use it on tempered glass. You mean hardened glass? So you're telling me that a razor won't scratch regular glass, but when you make the glass even harder, a razor scratches? Right? So now we put that out there. You go, oh, wait, well, that makes sense. But yeah, I've always heard it scratch tempered glass. No. This is absolutely the biggest myth that is out, and it's not. A blade cannot scratch tempered glass more than non-tempered glass. The reason that we've all been told that, and we've heard it, and we've everything else, is that the tempering process is this. You have a piece of glass that comes out. They take that same piece of glass, put it back into an oven to heat it up. And that's what strengthens it. That's what hardens it. Just like hardening steel. Same process, kind of. Okay? When they do that, they get those temperatures way up there. It changes the molecular structure of the glass, making it harder. But in the same factory, if they have beveling of like edges and stuff, right? They're grinding glass and cutting glass. There's dust in the air. And if that company, this is why you always hear like Newcastle glass scratches more. Their facilities are dirtier than any other one, according to myth. So what happens is if any of that other glass dust, which are called fines or slivers of glass, right, just floating in the air, land on that as they're putting this giant sheet back through, they partially melt back down into the glass. And here's where a scratch can happen on tempered glass, is once it comes back out the other side, it was hot enough to basically melt half of that little glass sliver into the glass. And now you have these little glass slivers sticking up. And if you run a razor over there, that's where you hear that ticking. You've heard people talk about that. What that's doing is breaking those glass fines off, which is great, except a razor is going to hold the glass fine or glass sliver against the glass. If it does that, glass scratches glass like a diamond cuts a diamond. It can definitely happen. And that's where people are like, oh, you can't use razors on tempered glass. That is the reason. The only reason anybody has ever said that, and here's the truth of the matter, is glass fines are so thin that if that glass has ever been cleaned before, there are no glass fines left. So if you have a window that's tempered on a storefront and they've been cleaned for a year, there is absolutely zero chance, zero, and nothing's zero. There is absolutely close to zero chance that there are still glass fines on the glass because they've already been broken off. Anything that touches that, paper towel will break them off. And not all tempered glass has glass fines, and not all tempered glass, if it has glass fines and they're broken off, would you hold it against the glass? Because even a scrubber, a lot of times, breaks those off. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about like a percentage of glass could have the possibility to... It's absurd. And with scratching glass with a fine, meaning a glass sliver, is so fine that if you hear the ticking, you stop. Because in order to really scratch it enough for anybody to see, you have to continue to do that. Then you go back into like a walnut pad or something where it's soft enough where even if the glass fine breaks off, it's not holding it hard against the glass. Because there's less give in a razor, it's holding that glass fine tighter to the glass. If you use a scrubber or a walnut pad or anything, then the glass fine comes off and it's in the water and it's not scratching the glass. But you've heard it before. Now, I will say one kind of side note on that. Rust is hardened metal. In the oxidation process of rust, it becomes harder on the scale of hardness than the metal thin of the tip and of the glass. Rust will scratch glass, even if it's just discolored. If it's hardened like that, it will scratch glass. So that's why we throw razors out when they get rusty or use them, or steel wool, we only use them once at one house before we throw them away. Rust will scratch glass, but you are not going to scratch it with anything else. It is nothing's impossible. It is absolutely a percentage of a percentage that any water-fed brush would scratch glass, or anything. Plastic can't scratch glass. All of these things. And I'll say one thing when I said plastic. People always go, well, I use plastic razor blades so I can't scratch glass. It's the same thing. You're going to break the glass fine off if it's there and hold it against the glass. Think. I wish that there was less people. You go into these Facebook groups and 50% of them seem to say the same crap that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's the first myth. Break it. Whew. Second myth I want to talk about, which is also huge, and I hear this all the time, is that water-fed doesn't work. Now, I want to preface it by saying, if you don't want to use water-fed, cool, don't. It's just a tool. It's the greatest tool we've ever had in window cleaning, but if you don't want to use it, you don't have to. You can clean it with scrubbers and squeegees, absolutely. You will be faster with water-fed. You'll do a better job with water-fed, more thorough. It doesn't dry on the glass. It's safer, all of those things. But people say it doesn't work. Even when they get a system sometimes, you get people who are like, oh yeah, I tried it. It didn't, windows are spotted. Yeah, because you did it wrong. No, I've been a window cleaner 20 years. And this is the first time you've ever used water-fed. Water-fed's a tool. Like if you walk up to somebody on the street and you hand them a squeegee and say, clean that window, they're going to do it and it's going to turn out awful. And they're going to go, oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this. And you're going to go, ha ha ha. And they're going to go, ha ha ha. And you walk away. Because people can comprehend what's going on with a squeegee. You and that same person, or even a window cleaner who's been doing this forever. I've been doing this 25 years. You hand them a water-fed. The first time they do it, it doesn't turn out right, and they go, this is broken. No, it's science. It's not broken. If your water is coming out under 10, which is why we test the water every time so we know, and you're seeing spots, it's you. The There's nothing in the water to spot the glass, but you're getting spots. It is the process. It's how you're rinsing, more than likely. You're rinsing too far from the glass. There's a mist. Your water pressure's too high. Lots of things. You just have to be better at it. You mean the first time you've ever tried something that was a new system and technology for you, you didn't do it absolutely perfect? Yeah, it must be broken. Couldn't possibly be you. Waterfed works. It always works. Now, waterfed is a replacement tool for a scrubber and a squeegee. It does not do what a razor does. It does not do what One Restore Acid does or a polishing system. Because everybody's like, oh, I don't use waterfed because we got a razor every window. If you're razoring every window, first off, cool, that's your thing. Apparently you really like to razor windows. Most people do not razor every window. Most, like 90+%. So if you're the odd percentage that razors every window and you can't use waterfed, cool. It's not the tool for you. I get it. It's definitely not needed for this razor, but it doesn't do what a razor does. If there's mortar on the glass, you can't take it off with a waterfed. If hard water staining is on the glass, it's not going to magically take hard water off. Just like your scrubber and squeegee doesn't take it off. You have to go into restoration. Now, not every window cleaner, because I just talked to one the other day, but no window cleaner in the 99.99% is doing hard water removal for free. That's an upcharge. That's restoration. That's an acid wash thing. When you go, all my windows have hard water, I got to take that off. What? You're doing that for free? You better be charging our restoration in hard water starts at $25 a pane. What are you, boys? Understand that clean windows is when you can look through a window and see that it's clean. If you, as a microscope holding window cleaner on the outside, are seeing little spots that you can't see from the inside, but there are on the outside if you really look, that's not something the customer's worried about. I bring it up every single time. Every one of our crew chiefs brings it up every single time when they're prepping or releasing the customer, what we call that last process. But if you have a problem, we can get rid of it for you. I don't even notice it. Waterfed works. Always. Always. So those people who, and I get this too, people are like, yeah, I do multi-million-dollar houses. They don't want me to use a waterfed. That's stupid. That's absolutely absurd that you would even say that, but okay. You don't have to use it. Again, I'm not going to argue on the fact, but I'm going to tell you that, I can't just do, if you say I can't use waterfed on a multi-million-dollar house, you're wrong, because I do. Like every place, every truck that we ran, every house that we did, the houses, even the estates, the houses with houses, we did with waterfed. Don't tell me you can't do that because it's absolutely ludicrous. It's like going to a mechanic and going, are you not using Snap-on tools? I'll take my vehicle somewhere. No one does that. They trust the mechanic to do what they're doing with the tools they're doing it with. They're going to trust you too. Now, here is a part of this that is absolutely true. I've gotten a lot of work from guys using waterfed because they're just not happy. Yeah, I'm betting you've gotten even more work from window cleaners using scrubbers and squeegees that did crap work. Is that fair? Right? Yes. Well, they didn't know what they were doing. Exactly. You can't take scrubber and squeegee and waterfed and go, well, yeah, they did. Last company did crappy work because those guys didn't even know what they were doing. They left drips all over the windows. And then go to waterfed and go, yeah, because waterfed doesn't work. Like, you can't still have that dinosaur mentality. Again, if you don't want to use waterfed, don't. If you do, it will blow your mind and be the greatest thing you ever have, ever for your business. And by the way, shameless plug. You knew it was coming. I wear you guys down. It's so great. But I am a rep for windowcleaner.com. And I know a lot of people are like, well, yeah, you talk about waterfed because you sell it. Absolutely. But I've been in waterfed for almost 20 years. I've used waterfed so much longer than I've ever been part of WCR. In fact, before WCR even existed, I used waterfed. Every truck used waterfed. Every crew, except our route guys. They didn't do waterfed. They only had waterfed for big, standalone restaurants. Everything else was waterfed. Unless there was a little old lady on, a first floor, and it was like, yeah, she's got 4 windows. Everything was waterfed. So I would love for you to get into waterfed. Obviously, I think that it's amazing. And I think that once you try it, It'll be amazing. I want to help you get into it. Don't buy the most expensive thing. Not always is that the best. I can help you get into it. We can talk waterfed, even if you don't buy, But I want to put your orders in either way. My number is 862-312-2026. Save my number, Jersey. I'm the only Jersey you know. Let me know. Also, get a subscription to the AWC magazine. Yes, the greatest paper magazine for window cleaners by window cleaners. And as always, it comes with a sticker sheet. So you've seen all these cool window cleaning stickers. And you're like, where are they getting them from? It's awcmag.com, American Window Cleaner Magazine. The American Window Cleaner Magazine has been around since 1986, by the way. Go check that out. Also, this time of year, I'm getting so many people asking about Jobber because I mentioned it, and the link's down in any of the bios or comments. But if you can't find the link, let me know. I have like a 20% off a month for 6 months and a free trial type thing. Obviously, I get credit for that, but you guys know my story with Jobbers. Mind-blowingly, it does so much. It really, unless you do a demo with somebody, you don't understand how much your business. It will do everything for your business except clean a window. So anyway, Jobber's awesome. Get the link or let me know. Anyway, back to it. Another myth that everybody talks about is people buy the cheapest. They're always like, oh, I got all these guys coming in. They're charging half of what I'm charging. I'm losing all my customers. The reason you're losing customers is because they don't see the value in why they would charge. Like, if you're giving the exact same thing, then of course they're going to buy the cheapest. Like, if I'm selling these two things in the video, it's just stupid remotes that are sitting here for lighting. These remotes are the exact same remote. If one of them is $100 and one of them is $50, why would anybody buy the $100 one? This is the premise of Amazon. You go to Amazon, you look, and there's like 5 listings that are all the same picture. You buy the cheapest. That makes sense. But when you are a window cleaning company, if they're only going, well, this is a window cleaning company, and that's a window cleaning company, and that one is cheaper, they're going to go with that. You didn't tell them your value or what makes you unique or why they want to buy you. It's not the price. It's that I'm not going to just pay more to pay more. But as soon as I'm like, oh yeah, well, here's why we're more. Here's some things in our USP, and we're fully insured, $2 million insurance policy, 7-day rain guarantee, 100% satisfaction guarantee. We have all the smartest and brightest techs, and we are the highest rated window cleaning company in our city. They're like, oh yeah, okay, wow. The other one just cleans windows. People do not buy the cheapest if they are told what they're buying. This is the big problem. So many people, I've had people literally tell me I was ruining their business because people like me help new window cleaners, and somehow all the new window cleaners are taking their work, and they've been doing this for 30 years. If a brand new window cleaner is taking your work and you've been doing this for 30 years, you have a problem. There is an absolute problem in your company, in your experience, in what you're offering. You're just window cleaning and they're not connected to you. There's a very big difference in those. Anyway, in the same line though, too, people always say, I can't charge more. Well, in my area, I can't charge more. Oh, you've doubled your prices before? You've raised them? Well, no, but my customers would not pay more. I mean, they're already, spending more than they'd like to. Oh, really? Did they say that? Yeah, they do that. Just like every car anybody's ever bought. They walk in and they go, well, this is more than I wanted to spend, but I really like it. Let's do it. You can charge more. Now, again, we just talked about value making sense. There was a company that started 15 years ago. And it was a guy who was big into kind of talking business. And he wanted to prove the fact that you could charge anything for a company if you created the experience and company that somebody's willing to pay for. Like if the guy shows up in a Rolls Royce and everybody's wearing suits when they clean your glass, you have this thing and they could charge $2,000 for a job that another window cleaner's charging $300 for. Well, guess what? They didn't. It didn't last. And here's the reason. It's because you still have to show the value of why it's different. $100 versus $200. Is there $100 in value difference? Well, if you're insured and this other guy's not, I could lose my whole house with it. Yeah, that makes sense. But if it's $100, $200, and $5,000, That's a lot of value. Like, what do you do? Are you going to also date me and take me to dinner and give me a free golden ring? Like, if that's happening, then maybe that's the value. But there's a certain point you can't show the value. But if you're not the cheapest in the area, okay. Every town in the entire country has a restaurant that's the most expensive. In fact, it probably just popped into your head. People still go there. You've probably gone there. Why? Oh, well, their food is amazing. You get in there, the people are so nice. They treat you like, cool, you're just explaining everything that I said. I can't charge more is a lie that you tell yourself because you're scared to try. And I'll tell you right now, every one of you could go up. Every one of you. It could be as simple as just doing a trial for 1 week. We're in a very busy time, so you got more customers coming in than you even know what to handle. Say you're charging $10 a pane ins and outs. That's what you're charging. Somebody calls you, you go through the whole thing, and then when you go to bid it, you're like, instead of 10, I'm going to do $12, $11, whatever. Just charge a little bit more and see what happens. All right, cool. So your total's going to be blah, 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 blah. With confidence, no one will bat an eye. And then you're like, wow, every job I'm making more money, which means your production goes up for your tax. I don't mean inflate the industry or everybody needs to charge. I charge less. Cool, do it, bro. Like, don't brag that you're making, $30 an hour when the other window cleaner's making $125 an hour. Like, that's not a brag, man. You're not Walmart. You're not, well, I do more work because, no, you don't. And it's your time. An hour of time for you and an hour of time for the next guy is the same. Walmart sells hundreds of thousands of items a day. That's why their prices are less. Right? It's completely different. So charge a little bit more and prove to yourself that you can. I think you'll be absolutely blown away. Because another myth that you've heard or you've said are, oh, my customers are different. No, they're not. No, you don't know. Let me guess. You're in New York City? Yeah, I'm not. So we're different. Understand the customer experience in anywhere in the country is the exact same. What do they want? Are you telling me that no one in your city owns an Apple product? Well, yeah, of course. Well, you can buy a flip phone for $25, but yet there's people who have an iPhone for $1,000. So right there, you're proven wrong. Well, I mean, no, for what we're doing, why would you think that a New York customer is looking for a different thing than, say, a, middle of Oklahoma customer? Are they looking for a great experience still? Yeah, I'm guessing they are. So what are you talking about? Your customers are not different. They still want a great experience. They want to remember who you are or what you're doing. They want to be contacted. They want to be happy. They want that dentist close. They want to have you on the schedule every 6 months because it makes them so happy. They want all of that. Now, are you going to deal with a customer or a couple customers that are absolutely like, listen, I make minimum wage. My windows are so dirty. I can't do it. I'm working 2 jobs. And all they're looking for is the cheapest. Absolutely. There are still people who buy McDonald's food when there's a steakhouse up the street. What do they buy? I just need it fast. It doesn't have to be good. I don't need an experience. Treat me like crap. Don't pronounce your words right. I can't even understand you on the thing. Just give me my cheeseburgers. I'm out. That still exists. There's still people, there's still a market for that, but your customers as a whole are not different. They're still looking for the exact same things. They're looking for the experience, the reason, all of the things they're still looking for. It doesn't matter if they are a different race or a different gender or a different population or a different city versus rural. They're still looking for the same thing. You have to provide that. Don't say your customers are different as an excuse. Don't look at another company and go, well, yeah, they're doing so well because they're over here. What? People in populations, in a percentage, you're in a really heavy area. Your population is more, which means you have more people to kind of connect to. You may have to have a little wider area to get the same amount of people. That's different, obviously. But as a whole, customers are not different. They're still looking for a great experience. They're looking for a great customer. You can't slap a customer no matter what town you are in the country and have them go, well, thank you, sir. We're different here. It just doesn't exist. So I hope this was actually a fun one for you. It's not, it's learning, but, no. Learning, stuff you may not already know. But if you're on Spotify, please leave a comment. And let's do this. If you're listening, to prove you're listening, I want you to go to Spotify. If you're listening to this on Spotify, awesome. But I want you just to leave the comment wherever you're listening, actually. I just want you to put, razors don't scratch glass. That's it. Put that. And then people will be like, why is everybody chanting that? Nobody will know unless they listen to it all the way to the end. You have. So anyway, shameless plug at number 2 of the show. I am a rep from windowcleaner.com. It is what I do and how I afford my lavish lifestyle of sitting in front of a black/green screen. Which, if you didn't know, that's what I do. Please let me put your orders in. My number is 862-312-2026. It's my cell. Text me. Call me. Anything. I would love to put your orders in, and I love all of you who let me do that. There are so many customers, hundreds and hundreds of customers that let me, thousands that I have not yet, and you may be in the latter. I hope you let me put that in because it means the world to me. And if you've ever gotten anything from one of these shows, like you're ever like, hey, this is cool. I learned something. Let me put an order in. That's the only way that I get paid. It doesn't cost you any extra, and it's like high five. Anyway, also go to awcmag.com. Get yourself a subscription to the magazine. Great articles, amazing pictures. It's just a fun thing to read. Also, the sticker sheet. Because what magazine is complete when you're creating a culture that you don't have stickers to throw on everything? So go and get that. Also, Jobber, that's what I was going to say. Links down below. Fantastic program, yada, yada. Really, really is blowing me away. Even if I wasn't doing like an affiliate link, which the only reason I'm doing that is because I can get you guys a discount. If not, then it's like normal. Blown away. I've done multiple demos. The last one I did is like really mind-blowing of the stuff I can do. So anyway, go check it out. Go do a free trial. Don't even listen to me. Just go look at it. Go do that, all of that. Until next week, go out there and hopefully learn your facts versus your myth. But more importantly, go out there and be epic.